would like to raise your hand, please press 5 star. Okay, to raise your hand to ask a question, please press 5 star. Or if that doesn't work, try star 5. I'm not sure which one it is, but I'm going to start off this call in my favorite way possible. Always like to create some energy here. And what I'm going to do, by the way, is I'm looking for good news. I'm looking for a success story that you guys have from the No Limit Selling System. Maybe it's a deal you did. Maybe it's a technique. Maybe it's a reduction. Maybe it's the courage to do something or some new marketing that you've done. But I'm looking for some good news and some power in this call. So we've got 216 phone number. So I'd love your good news. Don't ask a question. I just want to hear the good news. And so start out, say your name, where you're from, and share your good news. I'd love to hear it. So 216, and let's see who this is. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Johnny.
Nice to meet you, Johnny.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Todd. I'm excited to be on the call. So I do have some news for you guys.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so I am from Ohio, but I currently live in Vegas, and my marketing that I'm doing is in Southern California and in NorCal as well, you know, very competitive markets. So I have 2 different sellers who I have got to agree to a price. They have not signed the contract yet. We're just going over the finite details, but I have got them lowered. I have one property where we need to be around 700. I currently have him around the 730-ish mark, and then I also have another property where I have them, you know, at a very good price. And the reason why I was able to do this, I was able to use Todd methods as far as I asked them, you know, I kept digging for that pain. The guy didn't say, well, I want to sell because you contacted me. And I said, well, tell me this. I'm an investor. I said I wouldn't want to waste your time. And he kind of started just opening up things to me. And he said he has another house that he didn't want to sell. And I said, well, what makes you say that? So using all the different techniques, it has allowed me to really get that pain out of the sellers. And, you know, things have been going great. So I'm excited and continue to learn and use it every single day.
Awesome. Well, Johnny, thank you for sharing during the question and answer portion. If you want to role play that, I'd love to be able to role play that so we can try to lock up that deal for you and make some money. Sound good?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So press 5 star, by the way, if you want to share your good news. By the way, I'm going to choose someone randomly here. I'll have Brett do it, who will win a copy of my lease purchase wealth system. We used to sell this for $997. And I wrote this course 10 years ago, but I sold it for $997. So randomly, if you share your good news, get up here, show some courage, and share it, no matter what it is, right? Press 5 star, share it, and I'll have Brett give that to one person after this call. So if you want to raise your hand, press 5 star or star 5. By the way, Johnny, what was it, 5 star or star 5?
It was 5 star.
5 star. All right. Thank you, Johnny. Anybody else want to share some good news? Okay. Well, that being said, awesome job. Why don't we go ahead and open it up for questions here? Let's talk about, before I open up the questions, I want to talk about this business in general, right? I think if you want to make a lot of money in real estate, a lot of people overcomplicate it with like this marketing method or that marketing method, or how do I do this and how do I do that, and hiring teams. Well, this business comes down to 3 things, and 3 things only, right? Number 1, generating leads. Number 2, converting those leads. And number 3, selling that deal for as much as humanly possible, right? Number 1, generating leads. 2, converting those leads. And 3, generating those as best as possible. And so what I'm going to do is, we're going to focus a lot on number 2, right? But if you don't have number 1, 2 is going to be difficult. You've got to generate leads. And so this is a little bit of my preemptive coaching here, right? Is generate those leads. You got to make that happen because of you and in spite of you, right? It needs to happen every single week. You need to be generating leads, and then you got to be ready to convert. Because when you've got leads coming in, your confidence is going to start to go up. All right. So that being said, let's open it up for questions. If you've got a question, raise your hand and I'll call on you, and press 5-star. 5-star. Again, for the most active people here today, we're going to randomly give a copy of my my lease purchase wealth system that we sold for $997. So we'll go from here, starting to see some, this board starting to heat up here. Again, one person is going to get it randomly after the call. All right, we got a 914. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, hi, Todd.
Nice to meet you.
This is Yen.
Who am I speaking to? Min?
My Yen, Y-E-N.
Y-N.
Yen
Well,
Padilla.
nice to
I'm
meet
from, yeah. Nice to meet you. Calling from New York in this gloomy weather.
you.
Yeah, I would like to ask if there's what am I doing wrong with my leads? Because I did the 3,000 absentee owner high equity. We did that. We did the cold calling, and then because the VA helped. Did it for me, and then the driving for dollars for 1,000, and I didn't. What do you call this? I didn't close contract. So right now I'm asking, like, is it the VA or is it me or is it the leads that we're getting? Is it the absentee owner in New York? Because the mostly I get is like they have a lot of properties and they want top dollar for the properties, or they don't want to let go of the property, something like
Sure.
that. So making sense.
Yeah, great question, Yen. Great question. Well, this business, again, is all about generating leads. So let me ask you this. Out of everyone you spoke to and the driving for dollars, how many people said, hey, I might be interested in selling?
Yeah, there's like, I don't have the numbers right. Hold on. I have the 12 right now in my pipeline. I have 12 in my hot leads, which says, okay, I will sell it in less than 6 months. And then I have 9 leads who are pre-qualified. And then 16 said yes, but hasn't been pre-qualified like completely. And then 31 in warm leads. They said after 6 months.
So, Yen, first of all, I want to congratulate you, right? You've got your leads categorized, and you use the words pipeline, things that I really like, right? So you're doing a lot of great stuff. How long have you been collecting these leads?
Thank you. I started December 15. It's been a month now. Yeah, a month.
Okay.
40 days.
Okay. Well, here's what I can tell you, by the way. There's a book, it's called The Slight Edge. And in this book, it says, some people, they expect results too soon, right? But if you do the right things day in and day out, watch out.
Okay.
Right? So you're a little early in the process, Yen, for me to say, hey, you haven't done a deal, right? But I'm going to recommend a couple of things for you. Okay? Number one, keep generating leads. Okay? Keep generating leads. Number two is if some are warm, right, and you feel like, there's a chance that you could close them over the telephone, I'm going to encourage you to use that sales system and keep setting commitments for the next step in the sales process. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Right. Like, sorry.
Okay.
Like, I have to tie up the seller to walk hand in hand with me with the process. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Right. And so you want to ask the sellers what the next step is in that process, okay, with those people, and keep getting commitment. So in the no limit selling system, it says whenever you get off the phone with a seller, always ask the seller what the next step is in the process and get a verbal commitment, okay, a verbal commitment from them. Okay. So your hot and warm leads, take them down that process. Now, what I would say is for every other lead, you want to send out a written offer, either by U.S. mail or by email.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Yen, if you send out 100, okay, you're going to get one of them back.
Okay.
Okay. Now, maybe in New York, it might be
Got it, got it.
150 or 200, right? But the deal will be much bigger.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's. I don't know if I have to jump into those deals because it's more than $1 million. I'm like, this is too big for me.
Right. You mean the deal's too big?
Yeah, the houses are like, as compared, even my VA was saying during their training, they were talking about 100,000 worth properties, but now she's talking to the sellers with like $1 million worth properties.
Yeah. Are you doing cold calling or mailing or texting or driving for dollars?
So right now we're doing cold calling,
Okay.
but I would like to jump into SMS also to hit all those people who didn't want to answer their phones, or because there's a lot of voicemail.
Okay. Well, if it's okay, I'll recommend a text platform that will work really, really well for you right now. A lot of them aren't working, but there's a new one that's working really, really well. Would you like that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So go to NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com, NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com /texting.
Got it.
NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com /texting. Okay. And go check that out. Right. And that platform works really, really well. I'll also, at the end of this call, maybe I'll have Brett send out the recording and he'll also include that link.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. So go from there. All right. But I would tell you, keep generating leads. I like what you're doing. Don't worry if it's $100,000 or $1 million, right? You got to keep focused and get your brain to a place where it'll work. All right. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Bye. All right. We've got a 502. 502.
Hey, Todd. This is Pete Christensen. Thanks for taking my question. Hope you're doing well.
I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. I got a couple, 3 questions. I'm not sure. I just had a few I wanted to ask you because I've heard you say a few times that most of your wholesaling has been done by members of your team and not by you yourself. And so I was wondering, how do you go from being a solo business owner to extracting yourself from your business and having your team lock up and sell the deal? What's been a process that's been successful and helpful for you?
Okay, well, the first thing is I talk about this a lot, and I should probably, and I might do additional training on this, but this goes back to what you're tolerating, right? So how long have you been wholesaling, Pete?
I started April 2019.
Okay.
So,
and how long have you wanted to hire a team?
Since May of 2020.
Okay. So actually not that far, right? So the first step that you need to be, right, is you have to make that commitment. You have to be fully committed to building a team.
Got it.
Right? Because let me tell you, building a team is the most rewarding thing that you can do in this business. Okay? It's the most rewarding thing because being by yourself, look, it's fun generating checks and making money, but it gets lonely sometimes, right? But number 2 is that by yourself, you just can't, go as far, right? And so I haven't met with the seller or talked with the seller or contract probably for, 3 years, and in between there, I was just helping my team probably those 3 prior years. And so number 1, you got to commit, right? You got to make that decision and say, I am fully committed to this. And then the second part is I would say, look, where is the activities that I hate doing, right? What are the activities that I don't like, that I'm not good at, that are a drain on me and are a low risk of hurting the business if something were to mess up, right, in the short term. So for me, that may have been everything administrative in the business, right? So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to Number one, commit to not being the center of my business anymore. Number two, I'm going to decide on the first role that I need to fill. Number three, I'm going to write down the roles and responsibilities of this job. By the way, this is extremely painful for entrepreneurs. It's like the worst thing. It's like, to doing this. But working out is painful, right? Learning is painful. Making cold calls is painful. And so this one thing that you do will absolutely set you free. And so you write down what this person is supposed to do and what you expect of them and how to do it. And then you go and hire that person. Okay? You go and hire that person. There's a resource that I'll send out after this email. There's a resource I'll send out to everybody, so look out for that. But if you want to hire a virtual assistant, there's a service. There's freelance websites that are okay, but there's some other websites that that I will send to you guys after the call. Look out for it, and I would hire someone full time, either in Mexico or the Philippines for that first VA. Do you have a virtual assistant, Pete?
No, I don't have one. I've wanted to hire one for a while. I think I don't have the documentation or tolerance for training, and that's part of the reason why I haven't done that.
Yeah. Guess who else doesn't have the tolerance for training?
The person who works by himself.
Right? The person who works for himself, right? And me, I can't stand it, right? But I can tell you it's the best investment you could ever make.
Yeah. So here's a little twist to my question. I was training a guy over the summer to kind of be my right-hand man, and he broke off and ended up being my competition, and, I got a lot of heartburn over it. How do you protect yourself as you're hiring people and training them? Do you protect yourself or not really?
I could. Let me ask you. If you've got someone working for you and they sign a non-compete, how does that make them feel?
It could be uncomfortable. It could feel like, hey, you don't trust me. But at the other side, it's like, well, I just have to protect my interests and my business, my family.
Okay. So what if that person wants to leave, but the contract is holding them there? Do you think they're going to produce?
Say it again. Do I think they're what?
What if they wanted to leave, but the contract is holding them there?
Oh, are they going to produce? Are they going to be a top producer? Probably not.
Right. So what I'm going to tell you is, as a leader, your job is to lead. Right. And so if you're providing training, if you're providing leads, if you're providing automation, right, that is a lot of value that you can provide. So you've got to make sure that you're providing more value to your team members than they're providing to you.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Right. Now, I've heard some people say, what if I train my competition and they leave? All right. Well, you ready for this, Pete? What if you don't train somebody and you're stuck by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Right. So I've trained, I don't know, probably 24 acquisition specialists in my business. And guess how many of them have taken $1 out of my pocket after they've left?
Probably none.
Not a one. I am my own competition. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hear that loud and clear. And there's a lot of deals out there, and I need to kind of stay in that mindset. Would it be okay to ask a couple other questions?
Sure. Let's keep them concise, but absolutely.
How do you stay motivated?
How do I stay motivated? Well, there's two things. Number one, Pete, is, and this is for everybody on here, okay? Everybody here has a thermostat, an internal thermostat for what you want in your life, what you tolerate, right? We have it for our fitness. We have it for our relationships. We have it for our finances. Okay, so what I mean by that is some people, when they have $5,000 in their bank account, they're like, oh crap, I got to go out and work. For some people, it's $300. For some people, it's $1 million. But for whatever it is, right, there's this point where their head is above water. And as soon as their head falls below that water or that line, what does the thermostat do, Pete?
It kicks on the air conditioner.
Kicks on the air conditioner, right? You hear that little click, and the air conditioning goes on. So my best guess, Pete, if you're asking that question, you've had a hard time staying motivated. So the only problem is that your internal thermostat is too low. And so for whatever reason, you've got an income bank account, your income or the money in your bank account. And so as you hit a certain level in your bank account, and I know that there's so many people on this call right now nodding their head, that thermostat goes on. So you don't have to say that number, Pete, but I think I know you know it. Right? Yeah. And so you have to consciously now change that number. For me, it used to be $5,000 a year, right? As a lifeguard, I was a beach lifeguard. That's what it was. Then I got my first real job, and it was $44,000 a year, right? And then it was 100. Then it was 250. Okay. Then it was $1 million, right? And it keeps going up and up and up and up. So you have to change that thermostat. So how do you change that thermostat, Pete? Well, what you have to do here is you've got to set your mind on an income goal outside of your comfort zone, right? So let's say you want to make $2 million. And you want that. You've got to write that down and say, I make $2 million a year and I feel great. I make $2 million a year and I feel great. Now, this isn't like some hocus pocus, say it, name it, and claim it, it's going to appear. But what happens is when you're reading this to yourself every single day, you're looking at it and it's staring it back at you in the face. And when you are taking actions that are incongruent with making $2 million a year, right, you start to feel attention, right, of what your daily behaviors are. So, for example, the guy who makes $2 million a year, probably not working by himself. Right? Worried about his competition, worrying about the guy, the sales rep who he's going to bring on is going to steal his deals, right? You know, rich people don't think that way, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to write down your income goals. They need to be way out of your comfort zone, and you just say them out loud every day. And with that, it's going to remind you who you are, what actions, and it's going to pull you on the actions that you need to take every day to be congruent with that. And you're going to have to reprogram yourself. So you've got years and years and years and years of total garbage you've been feeding yourself about what you're worth and what you deserve, right? So it's going to take some time to unprogram. So you better be saying it every day.
Can I ask you another question, Todd? This will be my last one. I have a lot.
Sure.
But, I've heard a lot of people answer this question, so please don't say what I think you're going to say. What's your best lead generation strategy?
Oh, dear God.
What have you found in your business to do this?
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Pete. Everyone who gives the answer I'm about to give you has been personally trained by me or spinned off by me. Okay? So you already know the answer because they've been trained by me. Okay? But I'll give you, well, let me go back to this. The best one is the one that you completely focus on, okay? And do every single week, day in and day out, consistently. Right? They all work. Now, I will give you an example of something that's working really well for us right now, but we also have a lot of stuff working. So I caution you that if you have something that's working right now, to double down on that, right? And make sure that's going, okay? So right now we do some direct mail, we do SMS text marketing, we do cold calling, and we do joint venture relationships in our business, right? SMS texting works really, really, really well, right? Right now, it's a cheap way to get involved in this business, and it's a way that you can get a lot of leads very fast. So if you guys want to go and check out more about the the SMS texting platforms, the main ones out there have been having a lot of problems, right, lately because the carriers have been blocking them. So I want to give everyone a heads up. So we found one that the carriers are not blocking. So if you can, you go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/texting, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/texting, and you can find out the platform. If you do this and you use a texting, make sure it goes out consistently in spite of you. So that's my recommendation, but everyone listening, it's the marketing channel that you focus on and that you stick with and that you double down on. If you do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you're not going to get the results. Is that what you thought I was going to say, Pete?
Yeah. Whatever you're consistent in is the best one.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. No, that's helpful. Thank you. Thanks for letting me ask me a question.
All right, no problem, Pete. Let's go. We got a 443 area code. Who am I talking to, 443?
Hey, Todd, this is Sabina. How are you?
Good. Sabrina or Sabina?
Sabina.
So, well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you. So I had some questions that you already answered with other people. So number one is you mentioned the VA service you are using, and we will get access to them and to see if it works for us. Do you have like specific training you provide to your VAs, like specific script or something?
Well, it all depends on what you're having to do, Savina. So if you're having them do cold calling, right?
Yeah.
You can have a script. If you're having them do administrative stuff, right? That's different, right?
Yeah.
So
this is for cold calling.
For cold calling. So I don't know if you have any your cold calling. Have you gone through any specific training for that?
Yeah, so right now I have 2 VAs cold calling, and
Okay.
I'm a little bit, I have this dilemma. First of all, I know that they should get 4 pillars from the seller, like timeline, motivation, price, and condition. And at the same time, I heard people saying if the seller says yes, they want to sell, the homeowner say, yes, I want to sell, it's better for VA to submit it to you because VA cannot dig into the motivation very well, and you can, and then you can get a deal out of it. So what I end up having right now, too many leads to follow up, and I'm behind on my follow-up because many leads were submitted to me. Some of them want market price, and again, because like in the past, from people who wanted market price, because I followed up with them regularly, I was able to get deals done. So right now, I'm hesitant what I should do. Should I still have VA submit everyone who says yes, or I still need them to get through these 4 pillars? What do you think?
Sure. So, Sabina, this is what I would tell you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would start out having my virtual assistants pass over anyone who raises their hand and said I might be interested in selling, right? Because I'd rather have that than them give away a lead, right? So how many leads are they passing to you a day?
So they are working, each of them is working 4 hours per day, and it's between 1 and 3 leads from each of them. And now I'm just overwhelmed with number of leads I'm having. It's a good problem to have, but many of them are not motivated right now or want high market price, and I need to follow up, and I'm just having like between 25 and 40 leads every day to follow up, like from the past.
All right. How many hours do you have a day, Savina, to work in this business?
Oh, I'm working the whole day. like from 9 p.m. until like the evening. I'm having some breaks in between, but I'm
how many people are you calling a day? How come you're working? How many have you done any deals yet, or no? You've never done a deal.
Yeah. I've done deals. I'm just overwhelmed with these follow-ups, and I don't know how to sort them out. And
awesome. Here's what I'll do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make you some money right here, Savina. Okay, I'm going to make you some money, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to do two things. Mm-hmm. Number one is that, and we just did this with our sales team today. Do you label your statuses like hot or warm or cold?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Very good. So what I want you to do is every time you go through a lead, hot, warm, cold. Or if you have a task that you're tasking yourself, you could also go A, B, or C. Right? A is like, I've got to follow up with this person. B is maybe, and C is I could get to it.
Yeah.
So the majority of your leads, the vast majority of these people, you don't really need to spend time with. Mm-hmm. And so you want to label them hot, warm, cold, or A, B, C. And so every day you focus on your hot and colds or your A's or B's, right? You focus on them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that way you say, hey, listen, if I don't get to my C's or if I don't get to my colds, that's totally okay. I don't have to get to these people because they're not important. But make sure that you're focusing on the hot and warms, and that's where the money is coming in. Now, mm-hmm. So you want to get that. So you want to say it's okay to not call these people. But mm-hmm. there is money in the C's, right, and the colds. Some of these people lie, and I talked about this, no matter what you do. So here is my recommendation to you, Savina. I would hire a full-time VA to send out offers for me. To send out offers, okay? I'm going to send you the best website to find these people on there. But I can tell you right now that have them send out offers for you every single day to all the cold leads, and that way
even without me talking to them,
without you even talking to them.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, because if they're only sending 3 to 5 to you a day,
mm-hmm.
you should be able to get to those 3 to 5 every day, the new ones, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Right. So mm-hmm. you're calling them initially, right? Mm-hmm. And if they don't sound that motivated, send them an offer in the mail or by email.
Okay.
Your hot ones, you want to nurture. Mm-hmm. You want to take down a sales path and close them on the phone or in person. But the ones that don't sound motivated, don't spend too much time with them. Just send them an offer and then follow up.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you, Savina, you send out 100 offers, you're going to get one back on the cold offers.
Okay. So the thing is, I'm always afraid of by sending offers. What if they start shopping my offer around? And
hey,
how
it's better than losing the deal altogether.
Right? And how will come up with the price on the offer if I'm not sure about the condition of the property? Should I send them a range,
no.
or?
So what I would do is, Savina, I've done probably 100 deals just from sending out offers like this. Okay, but what I can tell you here is the deal that we did, the actual final contract that we did was never the contract that I actually sent out. It acted as a marketing piece. Does that make sense?
Yeah, interesting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, Savina, is we got there, we sent it out, but we just do a certain percentage of Zillow, a certain percentage.
Mm-hmm.
For you and them, check your market and say, hey, well, what would a deal be like on these 3 deals? And then just keep it consistent and don't overanalyze it, because you don't want to be spending your time on unmotivated people, right? That's how you get worn out, and that's how you get tired, right? So just hit a button, have your virtual assistant send out the offer, right? And then these people will start to call back in.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an email offer, have them send it from your email address, right? Or if you're going to mail it, right, which I highly recommend, right, then put your phone number on there, a P.O. box for them to mail it, and also give them the address of your title company.
Mm-hmm. So how is it like will be done through like click to mail or some other services you would recommend the VA to do it for me? Click
to mail works fantastic. Works fantastic, really easy. And then also, if you have Podio, you can do a an integration in there, which costs some money to set up, but both will work.
Okay, so this both. Okay, yeah, I will do it. And let's say if I buy in the area, because I'm an investor myself as well, I buy I buy and keep for myself some of the deals. Let's say if I buy in this area between, for example, like 100 and in the range of 100 and 120,000, would you recommend to sending it at the max range, and then once I see a property, I can renegotiate? What would be your strategy?
No, I mean, I'm not going to have it on my max, right? So we kind of send it out of something that we can make $25,000 or $30,000 wholesaling it.
Got it. Okay.
Right. But sometimes someone will call and be like, "What? This offer is so low." That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good sign because it means that they're interested in selling, but they're calling to negotiate.
Yeah.
Remember, it's just a phone call. You're not married to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good to know. Thank you. And do you have any like specific follow-up system for this cold leads? Like, would you call them once per 2 months, per 6 weeks, something like that?
Sure. Well, remember this, right? It all depends on your personal capacity. So your hot and warm leads, I'm going to recommend everybody on this call today, you want to set up a firm commitment on the next time you're going to speak and what's going to happen between now and then, right? That's more important, right? Because we're not robots and people aren't robots. On cold leads, right, you want to be following up once every 60 days or once every 90 days. That's fine. But if you get overloaded on those, right, and you don't have the capacity, you're going to have to say no, right? I'm not going to call them, and that's okay. So you've got to prioritize. So the cold leads, I don't need to follow up every 60 or 90 days. One thing I'll recommend is that texting platform that I recommended earlier, right? And I think I said it, NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com/texting, is you can take your whole database, upload it, and then start texting everyone. And
I'm
that's a
doing
quick way to follow
texting right now. Yeah, but I will check what you recommend.
But either way, I would say this: then whatever you're using, just upload your database and start texting people.
Yeah. My VA is doing it as well, and this is also the way they are submitting leads to me through like texting.
Yes.
I mean, they text and then they call these people who say yes for the offer.
Yes. Savina, you also might be ready to hire an acquisition specialist. Where you're at, if you're overwhelmed and you're not able to call people, that's a good sign that you might need to hire somebody.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but at the same time, I thought probably I'm not ready for it yet. I will need some time to build systems and so on, probably to hire someone, to be ready to hire someone and do more deals, probably to hire someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing I would say. So Savina, let me help you 1 second here, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed, right, that's never a good thing. So you want to start to take some things off your plate, right? So even if it's a VA to take some administrative items off your plate, get going because, I could tell you're a very savvy businesswoman, just the way you're talking, and so make sure you're spending your time on those high return activities.
Yeah, I have to do it for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, same here. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it.
All right. Johnny, I'm going to get to you here in a minute. We got a 213. 213. Who do we got? 213. You are live. 213-700. Are you there? All right. Lost your hand there. Again, if you want to ask a question, press 5-star to ask a question. 5-star. I'm going to try this one more time. 213, and you are there.
Hey, Todd.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. I was on mute on my side, but it's Eddie, Southern California. It's great to hear you live. I listen to you every day. So, yeah, I have a quick question, Todd. I made an offer last week on a property that I called on. I actually called on a different property, asked him if he had any other properties. He sent me to this other one that was really bad in here in Los Angeles, and we talked a little bit about the property. He didn't know what he wanted as far as price. I couldn't get any comps right away, so I told him I'd give him a call back within 48 hours so I could do some research on the property. It was a little bit hard to comp, but anyhow, when I called him back, I went through the details of the conversation, and at the very end, I said, you know what, I just don't think my offer is going to work for you. Have you considered, getting a real estate agent, maybe putting some money into it and whatnot? And he goes, you know what? Absolutely not. I'm not putting any money into it. He started talking a little bit more why, and then he goes, out of curiosity, what is your offer? And I told him I'd be in the ballpark of 500,000. Property would be worth, 750 to 800 fixed up and whatnot. So I go, yeah, it'd be in the ballpark of 500. It's probably not going to work for you though. And he goes, you know what? That's interesting. Let me talk to my brother and my sister because we're liquidating our properties. Our father passed away, and we have a lot of properties that we got to sell. So I said, great. He gives me, I ask him, like, how long will it take to talk to your sister, your family? And he's like, give me about, a couple of days. I'm like, okay, so I think this was Monday. I was like, I made a commitment for Wednesday. Called him Wednesday. He was like, sure. So I called him Wednesday, and he never answered. I kept leaving him messages and whatnot. Anyhow, yesterday I finally get a hold of him, and he goes, well, the property is just, we're looking more at 600. We're probably going to list the property. And I asked him, well, I'm not sure if I could do it, but is there a number that we can maybe meet in the middle? If you think about, after you list it and closing costs and whatnot, you're probably going to net somewhere around 550, 560. I'm at 500. Is there any way we can meet in the middle? And then he goes, I don't know. I'm really in the middle of something right now, but he's like, can I call you back? So that's how the conversation ended yesterday. And my question is, should I just send him an offer on written paper, or should I be calling him like every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks to kind of see where he's at? He needs to sell the property. It's in bad shape, but yeah.
Sure, Eddie. Well, so let me say this, right? So this guy took back control. Great question, by the way. So this guy, as soon as he came back and said he wanted to list it, right? And this is for everybody on this call, you then started chasing him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I did.
Right?
I did.
And let me tell you, so you started chasing the dog, and what did the dog do?
He ran. He ran fast.
He ran, right? Every single time, right? I had this dog
Yeah.
when I was a 12-year-old. Her name was Molly. Sweetest dog ever, right? Was by my side. She ran out the door. I chased Molly. She would run. Right? And I'm telling you, this is a fact. No matter how bad you want the deal, the more you want the deal, the more you need to act like you don't need it or want it.
Gotcha. And
so
I absolutely. Go ahead.
So whenever you come back and say, hey, can we meet in the middle and yada, 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 that's very weak. And I don't mean you're weak. I'm just saying like that comes off as like super submissive. You could have come up the entire time, right? So what you have to do here is take a deep breath when you're talking to a seller next time and anchor yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see right now how I'm slowing down my speech?
Right.
But I can gather my thoughts. And it can seem like an eternity when you're speaking, but really, everyone else on the other line doesn't think it's that long.
Right. No,
right.
I got you.
So here's what I would have done, and you could go this next time.
Okay.
I could say, look, it sounds like, listing might be the best option for you. Tell me why that's more appealing than working with me. Or I might say it sounds like listing is superior in every which way possible than working with me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear what I just said? I said it sounds like listing sounds like it's superior in every other way than working with me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not scared to say that because this guy is going to tell me one of two things, Eddie. Right? This is called a stealth mismatch in the no limit selling system. Okay, the stealth mismatch. Remember that.
Mhm.
I am going to throw at this guy something, that's really scary if you're new in sales and you're not skilled. Why are most people scared to say what I just said?
Losing the deal. Fear of
Losing the deal because they're scared of what the guy's going to say.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? He's going to say one of two
100%.
things. He's going to say, yes, listing is superior in every other way. My brother's an agent. He told me I'm actually not going to get 600. I'm actually going to get 630. And after I list this thing, I'm actually going to get 580. And you're only offering me 500. Right?
Yeah.
If he's thinking that and already knows it, I want him to say it. So now I know. But I want to get to know as fast as humanly possible. I want the truth, Eddie. I want to extract what's in his brain out of his body, okay, and into mine.
Uh-huh.
And I only ask him that by asking the tough questions that I'm scared to ask the answer to, get the answer to. Now,
Mhm.
hopefully he might say, well, to tell you the truth, the house is such a wreck, I don't want to show it. I'm embarrassed. And so, Eddie, if you could come up onto 530, I might do the deal. Right, but you don't know if the real answer to that unless you throw it back and say, hey, look, no is fine, but it sounds like listing might be a better option. Is there even a reason for us to continue the conversation? Do I offer any value to you whatsoever? How am I offering value in this to you? And he may say nothing, and that's okay. Now I know I don't have something. Okay, now I would follow up with a written offer, put it in his hand, right? And make sure I get money and send it to him. But don't chase the dog, Eddie. Forget it.
Gotcha. Oh, I know. I know when we hung up, I was like, damn, I screwed up.
Yeah. That's okay. You live and you learn.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a great learning
Keep
lesson.
those
I
leads
mean,
coming in the door,
tough
guys.
learning.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
keep the
Thanks a lot,
leads
Todd.
coming in the door. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. Build a pipeline, right? And then after 6 months, okay, you're going to have a nice tsunami.
Yeah.
You're going to scratch and claw for the first 2-3 months. Month 3, you're going to have a little pipeline. By month 6, watch out.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Sounds great. Yeah. Sounds great.
Great job, Eddie. Keep us updated.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye. All right, back to Johnny. What you got, my man?
All right, I got a couple quick questions. Okay, so Todd, in the no limit sales systems, you had touched on this, and it was something that was that was an eye opener for me. So C personality types. Okay, so the D personality types I do the best with. I personality types I love them, but the C personality types. Usually when I had a C personality type, I would just say, hey, they're not motivated. They're talking about the Zillow price. They're talking about how much they think the repairs would be. How do you really, because I've been running into a lot of them lately, how do you really dig into the true nature of why they want to sell and really get into it? But every single time you say something to them, they keep presenting you with these facts. And then when I say to them, hey, why won't you list it with the realtor? Then they may talk about the commission price, but they just don't give up as much information, or it's harder to get than the other personality types. How would you go about really digging that pain up out of them, especially if I have the intuition that there is something there, but you just not driving it up out of them?
Yeah. So here's what I would do. Is because if you try to do the analytics on why they should sell to us, does that actually work? Do the numbers actually work when them selling to us?
When trying to run the numbers, I don't think so. No.
Right? Say no. Right? People are coming to us for speed and convenience, right? And they're doing that not because of facts, but because of emotion.
Okay.
Right? So remember this. right? And so one thing I would do is I'm going to let them speak when we're doing a deal. And I'm going to let them do a math on how they do that, right? But I'm also going to explain our process because they like process, right? So I'll say, look, we'll come out, we'll talk, I'll talk about your needs, and I'll give you an offer. At the end of that, you can decide whether you want to keep it or reject it. If you accept it, we send this over to the title company, we open escrow, we'll close in 30 days. You don't have to make any repairs or closing or commission costs, and at the end of the day, you will net this. And you put a big circle around that net number and give them a number. Right?
Okay.
If you want to sit here and analyze my repairs and this and that, I'm sure that you could come in here and hire a realtor and do repairs and do this and somehow make more money. But my thing is here is that if you're trying to, what I can give you is I'm going to give you this net number right here. This is the guarantee. I guarantee that I will give you this number and put it on a sheet of paper and highlight it, right? Say if you hire a contractor or I think and you're going to run these numbers, all of these are hypotheticals, right? The commission, the sales price, the time to sell, the number of repairs, all of this, right? All of these are guesses. If you want to go that route, you can do that, but that's not what I do. Right?
Okay.
So let me take you through our process, step 1, step 2, step 3. So now I'm meeting their nature, right? Which is process, right? Step 4, step 5 is disagreement. If you like the price, great, take it, and this is what you'll net. And circle it, highlight it, right? And then say, if you like it, we open up escrow, and that's the process, right? And just say after we agree this, then 5 days later we'll have an inspection. There's going to be a lot of people here. We get everything done at once, right? And then after that we go to close.
Okay. All right. Well, one more question that I have. Okay, so with my pipeline that I have currently, it has a total of about, if I have to say this is right, it's somewhere around 520 leads, right? So, and
Total
a lot
leads
of
or hot and warms?
As far as hot and warms, it's 149 hot and warms. The other leads, a lot of those are unknowns. They haven't even been talked to yet. They've been talked with either SMS or it was a cold call at first, but they haven't even been classified yet.
What market are you in, Johnny?
Right now I'm currently in California, but these leads that I am talking about, they're mostly in Ohio and Louisiana. So let me just give you a real quick. The reason why I went over, I had in my mind that I said, well, I'm always going to do Ohio and always do Louisiana. And I was consistently, done a lot of deals. I've done over 30 deals, around 30, 35-ish, 30 deals. And they've all been 5K deals, 4K deals, 10K deals, maybe a couple 15K deals. And I had in my mind, and I had a limit that, hey, those 40 and 50 and 60K deals, I'm just not going to, I'm not going to do that or go after that. And so now I've raised what you just were talking about. I've raised that limiting belief out of my mind, and I've been getting leads in California. So what I'm kind of stuck at is, do I want to knock out all these Ohio leads, or do I need to hire somebody? I'm just trying to figure it all out and create a good process and a system.
Okay. So first of all, if you got something that's working, okay, do not all of a sudden switch markets. I see people do this all the time, and they say, oh, I want this big California thing, and yada, yada, yada. California has advantages, but it's got a lot of disadvantages, right?
Gotcha.
The disadvantage is you're competing with everyone and their mother, right? And, everyone knows you can do 50K deals out here, and the competition shows it, right? There's a reason why you got 50 or 100 hot, warm leads in Louisiana over there and Ohio, right? Because you don't have a lot of competition, so stick with that. I would say is just raise your darn temperature and start negotiating stronger, Johnny, right? I would not do a deal that I was going to make less than 12.5 on. That would be my absolute minimum. Okay, you should be embarrassed about the offers that you're sending out. Negotiate harder. Don't go for the 5Ks. That's a recipe for poverty, all right? I want to see 12, 15, 20 grand. That's what I want to see. People associated with me and get trained by me do not do 5K deals. You are now one of them. Raise your standard.
Okay, got you. Okay, well, as far as
hopefully you take my advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and as far as the leads, I truly believe that it's time for me to replace myself as with an acquisition manager. And I was thinking, should I go and take a more in-depth course? I know that you have another more in-depth one, or would I have my acquisition manager sign up for yours instead? Not the no limit sales system, but the other one that you have.
Well, it depends what you're thinking about. Are you looking to hire an I don't recommend just having your acquisition specialist just go through a training and think you're going to scale your business, because as an owner, you need to train yourself on how to attract talent, right? And then onboard them and then keep them motivated, right? So that's another set of training over there. If you're interested in one-on-one consulting, you can go to nextlevelwholesaling.com and fill out an application. So that's for the owners to check that out. But if you're doing deals and you're feeling overwhelmed, it might be time to hire somebody. So you can go to nextlevelwholesaling.com and start there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Todd.
All right. All right. We got Yen again.
Sorry. Todd, because I heard that you said you have to be strong with your negotiation, right?
Uh-huh.
So, hello? Yeah, so that's my
Yeah.
problem, because how do you not get intimidated, or how do you overcome the intimidation from the seller when they are too strong?
Well, it depends on the personality type. So if you're dealing with a real driver and they're bullying you, right, what you have to do, Yen, is go really low, right? And then let them beat you up on price and come up, but only at a price you're satisfied with.
Okay.
So let them
I
feel
think
like
in
they won.
nature, I mean, New Yorkers are... Right.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think New Yorkers are they have very strong personality.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my battle right now. But yeah.
So go low.
So my husband is
Go low.
suggesting maybe you need to go to okay.
Go low, right? But then let them beat you up, but then get commitments, right? So let's role play this, Yen. Okay? I want you to be a New Yorker.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I'm a former New Yorker, so I understand. I grew up on Long
Okay.
Island. But you be that, and
okay.
I will be Yen, and I'll show you how to handle this.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
you're going to come at me
All right.
strong, but I'm going to come at you just as strong. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So
okay.
remember, you're the seller who's a New Yorker, and I'm Yen.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
okay, Mr. Seller, this sounds like a great property. Do you mind if I ask why you're selling it?
Did I tell you I'm selling it? You're the one who's calling me.
Okay.
What do you want?
So Yen, so I send out a bunch of marketing, bunch of text messages, and we buy a lot of houses. And I ask a lot of people if they want to sell their house. Sometimes some of those people call me back and say, yes, I'm interested. Is there a particular reason why you responded?
I said you're the one who called me.
Okay. Oh, should I
I
assume
didn't
that you're
call
not
you.
interested in
You are
selling?
the fourth person.
Sure. Yen,
then
so
hung
should I
up.
assume
They
you're
don't
not
even
interested
answer.
in selling? Okay, that's good. That's okay. So for me, I don't need to overcome that. Right? That person is not interested in selling to me.
Okay. Okay.
Right? I've been at this for 20 years. I'm still going to deal with that on some people.
Okay.
Got it? Because what you just said is very real. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Right.
You were really rough, but that's true.
Okay.
So only stick with people who you know we
tough.
can help. Got it?
Okay. All
Look
right.
for the
I was
person
thinking
who
of
wants
moving
to
to
talk to you.
another state.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. My husband said maybe you have to change your market, like South Carolina, because they're more subtle there. So.
Well, it depends. Do you have a pipeline right now of people who might want to sell?
We tried. We're now in. I'm now in New York.
Where are you?
Westchester.
Okay. So, again, here's what I would do. I would try your market for 90 days solid. Okay, give it 90 days.
Okay.
Call, follow up,
Okay.
make offers. I know that you can do deals in New York, but it's definitely going to be harder than other places. Definitely. Okay. But the deals will be bigger. After you give it 90 days, if you're not getting
Okay.
traction, then I'd recommend going to a different market.
Got it.
But give it your best for 90 days. Don't go halfway.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Todd.
All right. Thank you. Great questions, Jen. I really like it. All right. So 5-star, if you want to ask a question here. I've got time for one more. I don't see any more here. So 5-star, we're going to end the call here. But Brett will send out a follow-up to everybody who was on here. We'll send out the recording, and I'll also send out those resources that I promised. And then also, I'm also going to give a copy of the No Limit Selling System, and that will also go out in the follow-up email. We've got an 801, 2 more questions here, actually. There's 2 801s that are asking me a question here. So I've got phone number ending in 5512. Phone number ending in 5512. Who am I talking to?
Hey Todd, this is. Hey Todd, can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Who am I talking to?
Oh, yeah, we talked before. I'm in your No Limit Sales System. This is Homie, from Utah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for calling in, homie.
Yeah. So, I love your No Limit Sales System. It's great. I love being part of it. I guess I'm having trouble getting good leads. Do you think I need to change my marketing? I got people that want to sell their house, but a lot of it's just retail leads. So I'm not getting too many motivated seller leads. What would be your best recommendation?
How are you generating leads right now?
I'm doing cold calling and some radio.
Okay. How many leads are you generating a day?
Maybe like 1.
Okay. So that's not enough. So what I'm going to recommend is that you start SMSing. You start texting. Okay. You need 4 or 5 leads a day. That's if you want to make big money. Do you want to make big money or baby money?
I want to make big money.
Okay. So we need 4 or 5 leads a day, right? So I would suggest SMS, right? And I think I send a link to that platform, nolimitrealestateinvesting.com/texting, right? I would start there. Now, I can tell you that once you start marketing, almost all of the leads are going to sound unmotivated at first. Almost all of them, because you've got to develop a pipeline. So if you're generating 5 a day, here's what's going to happen. Everyone listen to this, okay? This is like gravity. You speak to 5 people. 3 of them are completely unmotivated. One might be one sounds kind of motivated, and you got one that's like maybe, possibly, kind of. Okay. But no one's ready to do business today, right? You got to keep these into a database. You get a commitment on the telephone from everyone you talk to on the very next step. Okay. At the end of a week, how many possible leads do you have, homie, if you're getting 5 a day at the end of a week?
I mean, between 5 and 7.
Between 5 and 7. But let's say Todd Toback is an exaggerator and it's only 4, so you get less than 1 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's 4 leads. You're working 22 days a month. Okay? You got 4 weeks, so how many leads do you have at the end of a month?
What? 16, 20?
16 or 20, right? But
Yeah.
let's say that Todd's exaggerating, okay? And now you shave that off, and that's only 11, okay? Now month 3, you multiply that by 3, you got 33 leads, homie, who are now slightly interested in doing business. You think day 90, those leads are going to start to matriculate and someone's circumstance is going to change?
I sure hope so.
You sure? It's like gravity. The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you got to understand, you got to step 1, generate leads. Number 2, nurture the close. 3, sell for maximum profit. That's it. Okay? I wish that I could get leads and everyone's going to call me as motivated. The key with the selling is sifting through these and finding the hot and warms, right? And getting those to close. Number 2, you want to be sending out offers to everybody, right? And then 3, right, is when they're ready to pop, go. So even the ones that sound unmotivated, you want to send out offers to, homie. Okay? I promise you do that for 90 days, you're going to get deals. Promise you. Like gravity.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Sound good? You got to generate more leads, though. 4 or 5 a day.
What are you using to follow up? Is there a specific software you use, or?
The software you're going to use. That's what I would use. The software that you're currently in. What are you using?
I just got them on a spreadsheet, and then I give them a call.
Okay. Is there a date that you can set yourself to follow up?
Yeah, I could do that. Follow up.
Great.
Put it on the calendar.
So every single call, every single lead has a date, and that you follow up. Right? You could use any CRM. That's fine, right? And that's fine. But I wouldn't complicate your software. The money is in the follow-up.
Yeah.
Right? So make sure you've got a date and a next time to contact them, okay? And then you'll win. You can use a Google spreadsheet. You can use a CRM. Use whatever you're going to use to make sure that you're calling. If you're not making, do you have a job or are you doing this full-time?
I'll do this full-time.
Okay. If you're not making 60 calls a day, right? All right, then let me say this. If you don't have a job and you're doing this full-time and you're getting 1 lead a day, you've got a problem. You should be making at least 60 calls a day.
Yeah.
At least, right? If you're texting, SMSing, you're going to have those leads. Man, this business is simple. It really is.
Yeah.
We got to turn that thermostat up, homie. Turn it up.
I'll do that. Thanks, Todd.
All right. Sounds good. All right. We got 2 more here. I got 801. Ending
That's
in 8899.
Yep, Julie. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's your name?
Julie.
Julie. Good to hear from you, Julie.
Yes. Hey, thank you. I wanted to know, how do you structure your payout to your acquisition manager?
Can you clarify that question? What do you mean structure the payout?
So how much are you paying? Are you paying, are they on salary plus commission, or do you go straight commission on your acquisition manager?
It all depends on, your state and what you're willing to do. But I know a lot of people who pay 100% commission. I've done that. I've also paid them, 2-month base salary the first 3 months to make sure they're there. But, I like to have them right between 10 and 20%. If they're fully self-sufficient and being with me for a long time and closing deals, I'll pay up to 20% to keep them there. And
20% of your profit on the deal?
Yeah, if they're established, completely self-sufficient, right? And hitting a quota, right? If new guys, where I'm helping them do all that, and they've got a lot of support, and I've got to handhold them, I'm paying between 10 and 15.
Okay, so I got a guy who's a phenomenal closer, but I got to do so much work. Like I'm finding values, I'm doing all that. can't do it all on his own. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah,
So if
I'd
they're
start him
self-sufficient.
at 10%.
Okay, that works. All right, that's it. Thank you.
All right,
Love your
great
training.
question. Thank you. All right, so that's it. I got one more question here. One more question. So this is for Savina. Savina, I got 60 seconds, and then I have to run.
Hi, Todd. Two quick questions. First, what you are doing if the seller said yes, and you almost agree to the price, and then they ghosted you?
I'll send an email and a text or an email, and I'll say, hey, it seemed like we were close to an agreement. It seemed as though you changed your mind. Can you let me? Can you? If you decided, I'll say something like, right? If you decided that we're no longer a fit, tell me no. Or I'm assuming that we're not doing business. Am I correct?
Got it. Okay. And also the other question is, how would you follow up with them by calling them and not making the impression that they are chasing them? How would you start the conversation when you follow up?
Sure. So I would, a lot of it is certainty when you call them, right? Certainty. So I'd say, Savina, first of all, I would have an appointment with them, right? If I sense, if I made an appointment with them, I'll say, hey, I'm getting back to you. Last time we agreed we'd talk at this and that time, right? You agreed to do this. I agreed to do this, right? Do you remember? Yes, great. If I don't have an appointment set, right, I'll say, hey, I'm following up. We spoke a month ago, right? Has anything changed in your situation? Now, if I get any resistance from them and they're like, yeah, and they sound disinterested, I'll flat out and say, hey, look, it doesn't really sound like you're interested in speaking to me. Like, if this is not a fit, like, it's okay to tell me no. And so I'll pull away.
Yeah.
And say, hey, like if I'm bothering you, I don't really want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And pull away. So you've only given them the power if you're chasing them. As soon as I feel like I'm losing control, I'm going to pull away.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Great question, Savina. All right, great question, guys. Do me a favor. Brett is going to send out a follow-up with those links for the virtual assistant service that I love, and then also for the texting platform. That's NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com/texting. If you want to do me a favor, you can reply to the email that he sent you earlier. If you have any other questions that missed, you can add on there. But also, if you can reply back to that email that you got with this call on there, and let me know what your favorite part about this call was, where you got the most value, right? If you just hit reply to that email right now and just say, hey, this is where I got the most value. This is what I really enjoyed. This is what I'd like to see more of. Just reply to that email, and that would be awesome. Brett is also going to pick a winner to someone who's going to receive that No Limits, my lease purchase wealth system. So that winner will be announced in that email. So look out for that. The winner for that will be in there. But again, I would love to see you respond with your favorite part. That would really help. So look out for that email from Brett, and the winner of the course will be announced. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Let's do some deals. Talk to you soon.